I'm not really getting reps with the offense. It's like, I got to approach each week like I'm preparing for a game. And it's kind of like preparing for the test before you get to the test. And, now that the test is here, I truly can say that I feel prepared. So, yeah, I'm excited.
This is why, Ned. Generally speaking, what's your philosophy as a returner? What you like to do on the field?
My philosophy as a returner? I think if I could really just sum it up, I don't have any fear back there. And I feel like that's something that I've kind of developed over time. And obviously taking calculated risks, stealing yards out there when I can. But, I'm even saying that to myself when I'm back there. I have no fear. So, if they give me just a sliver of room, a small seam, a slight opportunity to take the ball, I'm going to take it. So.
David Tobin's been really high on what you were able to do since training camp. What did that mean along the way as you were kind of waiting to get some of these opportunities?
It was huge. It's always good to have allies on your side, especially in this business, and somebody of Coach Hope's status, just knowing that he believes in me and is still working with me and getting me prepared for this opportunity right here, and it means the world to me, and I can't thank him enough. Just for getting me ready for this moment, because I can honestly say back there that I've never felt more prepared and more comfortable in my entire life.
Nico, what's your kind of connection been with Carson so far, and what have you kind of seen from him this week, going in that same prep knowing he will start on Sunday?
Yeah. Our chemistry has kind of been developing since OTAs, and, I've gotten a lot of work with him since the spring and obviously in camp and throughout season on scout team. So, now that we're out here running the offense, running the plays that we know on our timing, he's slinging that thing. So, I'm excited for him to get this opportunity. I can't believe that he's a backup right now, because the way he throws the ball out there, he definitely should be a starter somewhere. So I'm excited for him and this opportunity, and I'm going to help him out in every way that I can.
Nico, what type of impact has DeAndre, Juju, and Hollywood had on your development this year?
It's been huge. Just little pointers here and there, and the little veteran tips that they can give me. It's always been kind of my mentality going into every receiver room, just to be a sponge and learn as much as I can. And what better guys to learn from than those guys in there? And it's been huge for me in my development. And like I keep reiterating, man, I feel prepared. So.
I know last year with the injury, it wasn't obvious way you wanted to start your career, but how useful was that to you as far as being able to observe and learn and pick up things?
Yeah, I wouldn't have wanted it any other way standing here now. I think it kind of just it all kind of it feeds into my story, just that underdog, and the obstacles that have been thrown in front of me, and the injuries and the missed opportunities. Like, it's just more fuel for my fire. And so I think, like you said, being able to sit back and learn and observe and take everything in, and now that I'm here getting an opportunity.
Hey there, my fellow Chiefs fan. Let me ask you something. How lucky do you feel to have Patrick Mahomes leading our team? I mean, this guy is the definition of greatness. From jaw-dropping passes to clutch performances, Mahomes has done it all, and he's just getting started. Think about it, how many quarterbacks can you name who've completely redefined the game like he has? Whether it's his MVP seasons, Super Bowl wins, or those magical moments where he makes the impossible look easy, Mahomes is truly one of a kind. But here's the thing, as unstoppable as Mahomes is, even the best players need a strong safety net. The NFL is a tough league, and having a reliable backup quarterback can be the difference between staying competitive or seeing our season slip away, if anything ever happens. So, let's talk about it. What's your favorite Mahomes moment? Was it that left-handed pass? The Super Bowl comeback? Or something else entirely? Drop your pick in the comments, and let's relive those memories together. And speaking of safety nets, let's take a closer look at the guy who's been backing Mahomes this season, Carson Wentz. Alright, let's talk about Carson Wentz, the man holding down the backup QB spot for the Chiefs this season. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Wentz hasn't exactly had the smoothest ride in his NFL career, but let's give credit where it's due. This guy has a Super Bowl ring from his time with the Philadelphia Eagles, and that experience is invaluable. Wentz came to Kansas City knowing his role, and honestly, he's been solid. He's a guy who understands the pressures of being a starting quarterback in this league, and having someone like that on the sideline brings peace of mind. If, heaven forbid, Mahomes ever needs a breather, Wentz could step in and keep things running smoothly, at least in the short term. But here's where things get tricky. Wentz is set to become a free agent at the end of the season. That means there's a very real possibility he might not be back in 2025. So, the question becomes, do the Chiefs stick with Wentz, or do they look for a fresh face to fill that backup role? Let's settle this together. Imagine you're the Chiefs GM. Would you re-sign Wentz for another year, or is it time to move on? Hit the comments with your vote. Keep Wentz or find someone new. Speaking of new faces, there's one name that's been floating around as a potential backup for Mahomes next season. Let's dive into that next. Alright, so here's where things get interesting. If Carson Wentz doesn't stick around next season, who steps in as Patrick Mahomes' backup? Well, CBS Sports' Cody Benjamin has thrown out a prediction that's got people talking. Mason Rudolph. Yeah, you heard that right. Benjamin believes the Chiefs could bring in Rudolph to fill that crucial backup role. Now, if you followed Rudolph's career, you know he's spent time with the Steelers and, more recently, the Titans. This season, he's been on a 1-year, $2.80 million deal with Tennessee, where he's played in 7 games, throwing for 1,490 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. Not exactly superstar numbers, but remember, we're talking about a backup QB. At 29 years old, Rudolph isn't a flashy option, but he's experienced enough to step in if needed. And let's be honest, he's not here to replace Mahomes. He's here to manage the game, avoid costly mistakes, and keep the team afloat in a pinch. So, what do you think? Is Mason Rudolph a good fit for the Chiefs? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Would you take a chance on him, or do you think the Chiefs should aim higher? Of course, this all leads to an inevitable comparison. How does Mason Rudolph stack up against Carson Wentz? Let's break that down next. Now, let's compare the two candidates, Mason Rudolph and Carson Wentz, and see who might be the better fit for the Chiefs as Mahomes' backup. First off, Wentz has the experience of being a starter, and that's something that can't be overlooked. He's played in big games, including that Super Bowl run with the Eagles. But lately, his play has been inconsistent, and while he's solid, he doesn't offer the same upside he did a few years ago. On the other hand, you've got Rudolph. He may not have the same high-profile career, but he's still a capable QB who's shown he can step in and manage a game. He's not flashy, but he can keep things steady if Mahomes is sidelined. The question is, does that fit the Chiefs' need for a backup? So, Chiefs fans, here's the big question. Would you prefer the experience and Super Bowl pedigree of Wentz or the more low-key, reliable style of Rudolph? Drop your choice in the comments, Wentz or Rudolph, and let's get the debate going. But whatever happens with the backup situation, one thing's for sure: the Chiefs are built to compete for years to come. Let's wrap things up with a look ahead. Alright, Chiefs Kingdom, we've covered a lot today. Whether it's Carson Wentz, Mason Rudolph, or another option entirely, the bottom line is that the Chiefs need a strong backup to ensure they stay in Super Bowl contention, no matter what happens. As long as Mahomes is under center, we know the team will be competitive. But having that reliable backup is key to maintaining stability when things get tough. So, as we look to the future, it's all about finding the right player who can step in and keep the Chiefs' momentum rolling. Now, it's your turn. Who would you want as Mahomes' backup in 2025? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss any of the latest Chiefs news. Catch you next time, and let's keep cheering for the best team in the NFL.